Coming to this particular session, we are going to discuss about reflective and formative. In previous video, play 1, play 2 session, if you look at it, we understood what is structural equation modeling, how to import the files, and what is the interface of SmartPLS. As a part of today, in this particular session, I'm going to discuss about mastering SmartPLS, especially measurement model. So before talking about measurement model, let's try to understand some of the important concepts like what is the role of theory in structural equation modeling, how theory plays an important role to choose your constructs, name it reflective construct, formative construct. Now, once we decide particular theory, we are going to come up with certain constructs. Now, there are a couple of questions will come up. Are you going to choose the scale adopted by the existing scholars? Or you are going to make modifications with existing constructs or existing scales? Or you are going to develop your own and validate it, and you'll conduct it. So adopt, and developing scale. We have 3 types of methods we can use as a part of testing, as a part of data collection, as well as part of conducting structural equation modeling. So first one is role of theory. Second one is how you're going to develop your research tool. Right. Then we'll talk about, once we decide the tool that we have, what are the processes that has to follow in order to conduct the structural equation modeling. In the process of conducting structural equation modeling, we are going to measure our construct that we have selected, that we have designed. In order to measure the construct that we have selected, whether it is a reflective, whether it's a formative construct, we are going to follow certain models, certain assessment practices, like validity and reliability assessment. So what is validity? What is reliability? As a part of reliability assessment, what are the assessments that you're going to conduct, like Cronbach alpha, composite reliability, convergent validity? When you talk about the validity, we're going to talk about the convergent validity as well as the discriminant validity. So this is what we are going to cover for keeping both the reflective construct as well as formative construct as a part of today's session. In the next video, we are going to talk about how to measure structural model. So in this particular video, we are going to talk about, these are some of the important concepts that we have. Okay. I would like to, very important point, I'm sure all of you knows a primer on partial least square structural equation modeling and advanced issues. But today I just would like to recommend, I would like to suggest you all very strongly. There's a book by Professor Chow Yan. I don't know how to pronounce it also. I'm really sorry for it, but a very good book. Name of the book is Step-by-Step Guide, PLS-SEM Data Analysis Using SmartPLS. Soft copy of this book is not available, but we can think of buying the book. If you want to learn SmartPLS, I suggest you this is one of the best books that you can think of it. As a part of my next coming slides or next coming sessions on SmartPLS, I'm going to cover the data sets, the sample data sets from this particular primer as well as PLS-SEM. Okay, so I would like to acknowledge especially Professor Yan for his contribution, the way he simplified the entire work, so that it will help us to understand how to conduct SmartPLS. So with this brief explanation, thankfulness, I would like to start the session. Now, as a part of same process, we are going to conduct number of steps that you're going to follow. But the first and foremost thing is we are going to start with theoretical model, right? So we need to have some base as a part of your research work. I will start. So we are all going to start with irrespective of whether CD-SEM, PLS-SEM. I'm repeating again, whether it is CD-SEM, which is meant for confirming the existing theory or testing the theories, whereas PLS-SEM is meant for exploring, developing, predicting the models. We're also going to define the theories. Somebody can say, sir, we are not going to use existing theories, but you might be having some theory which is going to help you. It may not be confirmed theory. Based on the existing literature, you're going to come up certain variables. So let me go with a couple of step by step to understand what is theoretical model. I'm going to cover it. Role of theory in SEM using SmartPLS. I can see that there are a number of steps, like 1 to 8 number of steps we have. First and foremost thing is guide construct development. Theory helps define relevant construct, select appropriate indicators. We have, irrespective of the domain that you're coming from. For example, as you can see my slides that I am going to cover some of the theories. I try to cover different domains. At least one of the examples I'm going to give it. But let's try to understand the 8 steps. We all know the theory is going to help to find a right construct which are relevant to your research work. Whether it is psychology, whether it is management, whether it is social work, social science. One of my core areas is social entrepreneurship. So I have selected many of the examples from management of the organization and the social entrepreneurship resilience point of view. Having clear theoretical framework definitely is going to help you identify the appropriate indicators. As a researcher, you are going to prepare your research tool. Like as you can see on the slide, we have latent construct which cannot be observable, which is not observed, like motivation, satisfaction, perceptions, attitudes. Right? But in order to study the concept of motivation or satisfaction, we are coming with indicator 1, indicator 2, indicator 3. Now, in order to identify these indicators, or in order to look at the relationship between different construct, like latent construct 1 to latent construct 2. So we need certain theories to understand. As you can see, theory is a set of systematically related hypotheses developed following the scientific method that can be used to explain and predict the outcome. Let's take, for example, a simple example here. We have the theory. I'm sure all of you knows management leadership theories. We have democratic leadership style, laissez-faire leadership style, authoritarian leadership style, transactional leadership styles, transformational leadership style. So we have a number of theories we have. Now, I just brought from the existing PhD thesis with the help of Shubhankar. There's one study, leadership style and employee satisfaction. Now, this particular scholar have gone through the adopted based on transformational leadership theory. Transformational leadership theory. Now, the researchers have a question: how does transformational leadership impact employee satisfaction, and it leads to the organizational performance? Now, as a researcher, scholar belongs to management or social work organization or social entrepreneurship domain, even psychology domain. In general, any discipline, I'm going to use the theory to come up with some kind of predictions, to come up with some kind of connecting relationship between a couple of variables. Now, if you try to, before coming to the hypothesis, you need to have understanding about what is leadership style. Leadership style means basically you can understand that as a leader, how we are going to inspire your employees, how we are going to motivate your employees, how we are going to retain your employees for a longer period of time. There might be so many factors, right? Work culture, pay, location, and work culture, location, pay. These are all certain factors which are going to influence the employee. But as a leader, how he is going to influence? As a leader, how you are going to influence? Maybe what kind of decision they have it. As a leader, if I start preaching, maybe 2 times is fine, 3 days is fine, but it is for years. It is for not for only for weeks. It is for years. My employees are going to look at me. They are going to see what I am talking, what I am implementing, how acting I am. Right? So, what kind of stimulation I am going to provide to them? So, how I am going to ensure that my employees are going to influenced by my vision, how I am going to motivate them. So based on the existing theory, I can see that there are different types of variables. Like first one, leadership theory, leadership positively impacts employee satisfaction. So based on once we go through the existing literature, existing research work, or existing theories, I'll base my research based on the existing theories, existing literature. I'm going to come out with my hypothesis. Like, for example, transformational leadership positively impacts employee satisfaction. Second one, employee satisfaction has a positive impact on organizational performance. If as a leader, if I'm going to influence my employees, obviously it's going to have impact on their satisfaction. It's also going to have impact on their performance, their productivity level. If it is going to have impact on their performance and their productivity, you can also do that in terms of turnover. You can see rise. Maybe in terms of retaining employees for a longer period of time, it's also going to have impact on it. Second one, employee satisfaction has a positive impact on organizational performance. So that is the end, right? Third one, transformational leadership indirectly impacts organizational performance through employee satisfaction. Now, as a researcher, while framing my hypothesis, what I'm trying to hear, one is transformational leadership positively have impact on employee satisfaction. Now here, transformational leadership is an independent variable and employee satisfaction is a dependent variable. So this is one of my hypothesis. I just want to know how as a transformational leadership positively impact employee satisfaction. Second one, employee satisfaction has a positive impact on organizational performance. Now, employee satisfaction has a positive impact on organizational performance. Now here I can see one more variable. Employee satisfaction has a positive impact on organizational performance. Transformational leadership directly impacts organizational performance through employee satisfaction. Now, how many hypotheses I have? I have 3 hypotheses. Now, from where I'm getting it? Based on the existing literature, existing theories, I'm framing it. Now, this is one type of theory. Now, let me go to the next one. We have a well-known theory, which is going to help us specifying the hypothesis and relationship. If you are going to take theory as a foundation for formulating any kind of research work, you can able to build the connections between the constructs. Okay, and you can able to see that how both variables, independent variables, dependent variables are connected, and what kind of path relationship we have it. Okay, so this relationship that we have it between the constructs, they are going to be completely exploratory. We may have some theories, but we might be adding certain additional values, additional constructs, and you want to predict, you want to explore further, right? So that is also in that case also theory is going to play an important role. Next one, established measurement models. Measurement models basically nothing but the latent variables that we have, and we are going to validate. We are going to check the reliability and validity with the help of the various constructs. Okay, and we are able to specify the model. So theory is also going to help us to specify the model, validate the model, and develop the model. Let's see one more example here. If I'm using technology acceptance model as a theory, we all know that every person may not comfortable adopting the technology. Now, if I am going to compete with one generation with another generation, you can see a lot of difference. Elderly people may not be able to adopt easily as younger generations are able to adopt it. Now I'm just coming with certain relationship. I can able to see that some kind of relationship which I'm going to add it, and I just want to check it whether this kind of relationship can be explored further, can be the existing theory can be redefined further, or existing theory can be further expanded, further modified. Looking at the reason wise, context wise, I can able to look at. Now, if I'm going to apply this theory, perceived use positively influences perceived usefulness. Perceived usefulness positively influences behavioral intention to use technology. Now, theory is guiding me to come up with my hypothesis, which is going to help to come out various variables, various constructs that I'm going to come. Okay. Now, imagine that you already got the constructs with the help of the existing literature, existing theories. Now, the question comes, I have gone through a couple of theories, a couple of existing literature. I'm able to find certain constructs, certain latent variables. I have designed my research tool. Now, the question is, which one I have to opt for? I have 3 options I have it. When it comes to the scale, when it comes to the tool that I'm going to collect it. As a researcher, if I'm going to measure, if I want to explore certain phenomena, if I want to conduct structural equation modeling, I can adopt adaptation development. These are the three strategies I can use it. Now, what is meant by first one? Adoption. There are some scholars who already conducted. There are existing theories. There are so many scales are available. And I just simply, as it is, I want to apply it. Now, the question comes, if you're going to adopt as it is, how to proceed, how to continue the procedure? What are the tests you have to follow? Whether you have to go with the CFA, EFA, right, like exploratory factor analysis, confirmatory factor analysis, or I just confused what to do there. If you have options like adoption, adaptation, development. So we are going to discuss one by one. Adoption means you are taking existing tool as it is. Adaptation means there is some tool is available, but you are making modifications as per a requirement. Maybe in terms of language, maybe in terms of age group wise, maybe in terms of geography, right? Whereas development means you are starting from scratch. We'll go back. We'll see one by one from the scratch to the next level. Okay. Adopting scales. What is the meaning of it? Using a scale exactly as originally developed with no changes to wording, language, structure. I'm just taking as it is, that particular tool is available to me. Let's take, for example, I'm just talking about resilience of social enterprises. And this the resilience of social enterprise is well-known theory. There are so many scholars contributed. It is well established. Validity, reliability of this tool is available. So it is reducing my burden. It is reducing my burden in terms of looking at the validity, reliability of it. Right. So I'm just, an additional advantage is that I can able to compare my current research with the previous research. Comparative utility allows the researchers to link research directly to prior research, facilitating cumulative knowledge building. So this is add-on. This is going to be add-on to that. The problem is that adoption does not imply automatic validity. You cannot assume psychometric quality based on solely on the source citation. You might be taking it as it is, but we are going to conduct measurement model based on the type of reflective construct, formative construct we have. We are going to follow all the validity, reliability. What are the things we are going to follow? Only thing is, we are not going to talk about how to generate the items. We're not going for a pilot study, right? That process we are not going to follow. Only the thing we are going to follow is that confirmatory composite analysis. That is nothing but we are going to look at the internal consistency. You can't simply say that this tool is already validated, already tested by reliability and validity. That is advantage for you. Only thing is, you're not starting with preparing the items, looking for the content validity, consulting experts. That process that you are not going to follow. That simply you're going to skip it and simply starting with confirmatory composite analysis. That is nothing but following with internal validity like measurement procedure, then structural procedure, later on structural procedure, structural assessment. So measurement procedure is the most important aspect. Even though we are adopting the well-established scale, okay, the scale's reliability must be proven intact within the context of your specific study. Somebody conducted study, the school was that the scale is valid, reliable, well experimented. But as I'm using the tool, I also need to check the internal consistency of this scale based on my research study, okay, specific to my study. Okay, once we collect the data, before going for structural model, I need to look at the measurement model. So I'm going to share one article. Use of partial least structural equation modeling to improve plastic waste management. Let me show you this, how this particular scholar has conducted research, so that before going to the next one, we have some clarity. You can also check your Google Drive link by tomorrow along with the recording sessions. Now, this is a study. I just want to show you how this particular research is done. The purpose of this work is to demonstrate PLS-SEM approach with structured questionnaire in a survey to test hypothesis concerning the factors, then qualitatively measure plastic waste management performance, aiming to propose ways to improve it. So here, the researcher, they followed based on the literature review, prepared the hypothesis, and specified the structure, like what are the different kind of construct we have it, and how they are connected. What is the path relationship? Now, if it is suitable for, if there is an existing tool is available, you'll start collecting the data, and you'll measure the reliability, validity, and you'll go for the structural assessment model. You'll analyze the results, go for the discussion. So these are some of the construct like efficiency, effectiveness, performance. This particular scholar got all the constructs from the existing literature. They exist simply adopted from particular scholar. Okay. Now, once after adopting, these are some of the construct. The research didn't go for generating items additionally. They gone directly for measuring the constructs, validity, reliability of the constructs. Then they have gone for structural model. As a part of the measurement model, we are going to look at the convergent validity, discriminant validity. As a part of discriminant validity, we are going to follow a couple of important steps. Okay, we are going to see one by one. Next. Second option that is available is adaptation. There are certain scales are available, but I just want to make changes in terms of the context-wise, geography-wise, culture-wise, age group-wise, right? Sector. Somebody conducted research in the area of health sector. Now I want to adopt employee stress within the education sector. Now I want to adopt in the health sector-wise. So I just want to make certain changes. I want to connect with the context-wise. So maybe I'll be following the translation, rephrasing, looking at the age and demographic-wise. Certain items I feel that not connected based on the sector-wise, context-wise, geography-wise. Okay. So I'm also changed certain anchoring. Like for example, we all know that 5-point Likert scale is most prominent approach. If you look at any of the existing literature or existing studies, you'll find 5-point Likert scale. And you'll also find anchors like 7-point Likert scale, 11-point Likert scale also. But well-known approach is 5-point Likert scale. Now, if I feel I don't want to go with the 7-point Likert scale or 11-point Likert scale, I want to go with only 5-point Likert scale. Scale is the same. What are the modifications I'm making it? In terms of these are some of the common scenarios, I'm going to make certain changes here. As I'm making certain modifications, just what is the process that I'm going to follow? I'll go for pilot study. Here also, in this particular choice, in this particular option also, I'm not going for generating items. I'm not going for content validity. I'm not going for exploratory factor analysis here. In the previous step, also I'm not going for exploratory factor analysis. Okay. Now, whether you are adopting adaptation, you're not following exploratory factor analysis as a part of your step. What you're doing here, you're doing pilot study and you're collecting data and you'll go for PLS-SEM model. That is confirmatory composite analysis. Okay. Now, the last one, that is developing new scale, creating a measure from scratch when theory is present but instruments are missing. Now, if there is a situation in your context, there are certain theories, but certain contexts are missing, certain variables are missing, or you are decided that you don't have much scales developed, and you are the first time scholar, you are going to develop it. In that case, you start with the first one, phase one, item generation. Second one, content validity. Third one, pilot testing. Let me go by one. When I start talking about item generation, what I will do, as you all know that based on the existing literature, you start developing the item selection, and you go consult the expert review, and you'll also go for face review, content review, and you'll come up with the final item pool. Then whatever the item pool that you have generated, and you want to check it whether it's really measuring what you intend to study or not, right? So further, you'll go for parallel study. Once you conduct your parallel study, you'll go for exploratory factor analysis. So as we are starting from scratch, validation of the tool is very important. Validation of the scale is more important. So in that case, you are going to follow two additional stages. Once we complete exploratory factor analysis, again you use SPSS AMOS to conduct the confirmatory factor analysis. Once we get the confirmatory factor analysis, then you'll go for CCA, that is internal consistency validity of the procedure, just like any other PLS-SEM model. Let me show you one interesting article. I have brought 3 articles I'll be sharing with you all. And these 3 are they're published in very good journals. Okay. There are a good number of journals, but I selected the standard journals so that you can take it as a part of reading. Now, what this particular scholar did, there are no theories, though there are certain theories, but they're not sufficient to generate the research tool. Like the researcher identified certain constructs, but they're not up to the mark. So the researchers started identifying the items. Like you can see that number of items were generated. The procedure followed step by step, starting from item generation to conducting pilot study, exploring the factor analysis, confirmatory factor analysis with the help of the SPSS AMOS. Okay. This is meant for developing the developing and validation of tool that you have it. Let me show you one more research article. SmartPLS model, developing an administrator's perception and attitude scale for apprenticeship program. Even if you go through this article, you'll get a lot of clarity about what is the procedure one has to follow. So first and foremost thing is you need to define the measurement rate. Begin by defining the rate to be measured. You are going to generate the potential items. And this researcher created 80 to 100 potential items by using 5-point to 7-point Likert scale. Okay. And consulted expert review. After getting the consult of content validity, face validity, the researcher gone for pilot study. So the researcher conducted pilot study and ensured that items are able to measure what it is intended to measure. Then they have gone for statistical analysis with the help of IBM SPSS AMOS. Then once after completing the confirmatory factor analysis, exploratory and confirmatory factor analysis, the researcher has gone for SmartPLS. Okay. Look at this, another interesting part. Same, very detailedly explained. Maybe if you go through this particular article, you will get more clarity. How this followed. Complete procedure if you are going to start your scale from scratch. If you are simply adopting if you are adopting existing scales, there is the most easiest way you can conduct your study. But if you are trying to develop your own scale and you need to validate it, if you want to validate that particular scale, one has to follow all the procedures we have. Starting with here, item, preparation of items, content validity, finalizing the items, pilot study, exploratory factor analysis, confirmatory factor analysis, then CCA, that is nothing but using PLS-SEM model. Okay. So in this particular session, I try to come up more and more detailed explanation about how to choose the construct. Okay. Now, so far we have discussed 2 things. One is role of theory, how theories plays an important role to come up with your own hypothesis. Okay. Second one, once you come up with the hypothesis, you are able to come up with the hypothesis because theory is helping you to look for certain variables, certain indicators, right? And theory is going to help you, existing theory is going to help you to develop the connections, path relationship. As you are going to come up prediction, you are also adding certain values, certain new constructs, as you want to develop the new theory out of the work. While Going for data collection, as you're going to prepare scale with the help of the existing literature, existing tools, we have discussed that there are three concepts like adoption, adaptation, and development. Having knowledge or clarity about how we are going to adopt your scale, how we are going to choose your scale, that plays an important role in terms of the kind of procedure that you're going to follow while conducting the PLS-SEM model. Okay. Now, these are the two concepts that we have discussed so far. Now, let's come to the next part. So we have some case study first. Instead of simply talking about the theoretical part, let's have some case study, some hands-on practice with us. Now, as a researcher, I just, by looking at the existing literature, by existing theories, we brought certain constructs. We brought certain constructs. I just want to examine the effect of learning culture. Like we have certain variables, latent variables, learning culture, teacher qualities, school reputation, and school performance. Now, in order to conduct this particular study, effects of learning culture, teacher qualities, school performance, school reputation on school performance. That is my research title. That is what my research title. In order to study this particular study, I have 4 constructs. Learning culture is one construct. Teacher qualities, school reputation, school performance. Now the problem is that, though you're using theory or this literature, the kind of construct that you have it, we have 2 types of construct. Though we have discussed on the first video, first session, we have reflective construct, formative construct. Now the question is, what is reflective construct? When I asked about reflective construct, if you can go back to our previous video, let me view this part. As you can see, the reflective construct, items are caused by the construct. Now, if you look at causality, the construct causes the items. Items are coming from the construct. It means the construct causes the items. The construct is the source of variation in the items. If you look at the arrows, arrows are drawn from the construct to the items. Whereas when it comes to the formative construct, the items caused are from the construct. If you don't mind, as a repetition, as a part of the data, we have done it. Only a slide, I'll discuss a few important points. We have one example, same example that we discussed. Satisfaction is a construct for both reflective as well as formative. Now, here you can see that satisfaction has a formative and reflective construct. I appreciate this hotel. I'm looking forward to staying in this hotel. I recommend this hotel to others. Now here, the construct, the satisfaction causes the items. I'm satisfied with this hotel. That's why I'm appreciating it. I'm already satisfied with this hotel. I'm looking forward to staying in this hotel. Just because I'm satisfied, I'm going to tell to my family members, my relatives, maybe my students, someone who want to visit whenever they're visiting any place. It means the construct is the source of variation in the items. The construct causes the items. Whereas when it comes here, items are nothing but the consequences. Items cause to form the construct. Means items basically they are creating or defining the construct here. Now the service is good. So imagine that we went to some tourist place, Ayodhya or any other place, any masjid or church, some new place, and you stayed in a particular hotel, and the service is good. The person, the serviceman, the receptionists, they are very friendly. They are receiving us very well. Rooms are very clean, and good facilities, good amenities are there. Now this leads to this particular item, this particular indicators leads to satisfaction. So that forming the construct. Here, satisfaction. This particular construct is causing the items. So this is very clear. Day 1, day 2 we have discussed. Now one more slide. Just to go for further. Just me read it. Direction of causality can see construct causes items, whereas items cause construct. Now the correlation between the items should be high when it comes to the reflective construct. Here, as part of satisfaction, if I'm trying to measure the concept of satisfaction, I appreciate this hotel. I'm looking forward to staying in this hotel. I recommend this hotel. There should be high correlation between these constructs, this particular items, this particular indicators. Whereas when it comes here, we don't expect there must be high correlation between the indicators. Items should be highly correlated when it comes to the reflective construct. Items may have low or no correlation. Okay. Impact on missing items. Construct may be less reliable, but still reflects underlying construct. Construct not fully formed. For example, in this particular case, by having just 2 items, I can able to come out with a particular construct. But in this particular formative construct, if I miss 1 or 2 items, I can see some missing. I can see there is some gap to measure the concept of satisfaction as a part of formative construct. Okay. Items should be consistent across the groups. Items may not apply. They can be different in terms of the context wise. Arrows from construct to items. Arrows from item to construct. Now, when it comes to the reflective construct, it is based on completely theories we have it. As a part of CBSEM, if you are using CBSEM, we require only reflective construct. Whereas when it comes to the PLS-SEM, you can use combination of both reflective and formative, or you can use the reflective construct, or you can only use formative construct. That kind of flexibility also we have it when it comes to the SmartPLS model. Now, after having some existing theory or after framing the hypothesis, after having clarity with the type of the scale that you are going to come up with, and after having a couple of indicators, now the next step I'm going to come up with measurement model. So what are the steps that you're going to follow as a part of measurement model? We have this scale here. Measurement model. Now, when it comes to the measurement model, though I'm adopting the tool, I need to follow CCM mode, CCA. Okay. Now here, as a part of the measurement model, I'm going to look at the internal validity reliability of the scale. We have these are some of the threshold values. I think maybe we can start hands-on practice, then we'll discuss one by one. Okay. I request all of you to please open your SmartPLS. I request all of you to please open your SmartPLS. We are going to use the same data set. Yesterday, we already, in previous class, we already downloaded the particular data set. The name of the file is data CV. For the sake of others, if you want to start with the SmartPLS, if you want to work with the SmartPLS, first of all, I need to create the new workplace. I need to create new workspace. Instead of going directly with the new project, we need to create first new workspace. If you are using for the first time, just click on new workspace. And I'm going to this time E drive. Here I need to select one empty folder. Now here I don't have any empty folder. So I'm going to create new folder. And I'm going to give the name SmartPLS. I can give any name. I'm just giving SmartPLS as an empty folder. So we need to select one empty folder. If you don't have any empty folder, we need to create it. Just click on, select the folder. Now we have created new workspace. We have created new workspace. In this particular new workspace, we are going to create a project. Just click on new project. Give the title. school performance. Title is school performance. Just click on create. Now we have created the file name. We have folder name, that is project name is school performance. I can see there are two options. One is import data. Second one is create model. Just click on import data file. I'm going to import school performance. Like in your case, sample data CSV file, same file, school performance. Just click on open. Once you select the particular file, once we click on open the file, I got one new progress window. It is showing the project that I am going to import, the data that I am going to import. The file name is school performance, and it's showing that I have around 410 respondents. And it's showing the nature of the type of the construct that we have it, like metric. It is also showing items, culture 1, culture 2, culture 3, culture 4. We have certain construct indicators, we have it. Missing values, we don't have. Minimum value 1, maximum value 2. Now, in case, if you want to change it from metric to ordinal to categorical or binary, if it is 1 or 2, I can simply change by selecting particular scale, like ordinal, like that. But imagine that I have 20, 30 items. For all the items, if you want to change at a time, just click on bulk change. Select the scale that you want to give, whether it's metric, whether it's ordinal, whatever you feel it. Okay. Let's say, for example, I'm selecting this ordinal. Minimum value is 1. Maximum value is 11. The moment I click on apply, you can see that it is changing bulk. All these scales are changed. There is no difference when it comes to the Likert scale, whether you consider it as a metric data, whether you consider it as an ordinal data. So the debate is never-ending debate, as you all know. Now I have selected as an ordinal data. Just click on import. The moment I click on the import, it's showing the list of the indicators along with the skewness and kurtosis value. It is showing that whether our p-value is, whether our data is distributed normally or not. In previous video, day 2 session, we have discussed if our skewness and kurtosis values are less than -1 to +1, our data is distributed normally. That is excellent. In case our data is between -2 to +2, that is acceptable, right? So in that case, if you look at overall, our data is normally distributed. We have normality distribution of the data. You can also see the raw data here, like the responses that you got it from your while collecting data. What are the responses that you got it? As a part of the indicators, if you want to report as a part of your normal distribution of the data, you can simply copy here. As you can see on the top right side, there is an option called copy to Excel. Just open Excel sheet and you can copy the variables and you can present it. Okay. Later on, you can delete. You can keep mean, you can keep standard deviation, skewness, kurtosis, and p-value. You can keep it. Rest of the things you can delete it. Okay. Now, come to the main part. Just go back. We are going to create the new model. We are going to create the model. Now, I hope so far it is clear. We already covered in previous class. I hope it is clear so far. Now, just click on create model. Project name is school performance. What kind of model that you are going to create? We are here to create model PLS-SEM. As you can see that while discussing the concept of our interface of the SmartPLS, we discussed that by using PLS-SEM model, PLS-SEM software, one can perform CDSEM also, one can perform PLS-SEM also, you can also perform other advanced level statistics also. Right now, we are going to create PLS-SEM model. Now, what would be the model name? Model name is measurement model. I'm just giving name. I'm going to create measurement model. So I given project name, type of the model that you're going to create. What is the model name? Just click on save. Now, as you can see that on the left side of the window, we're having learning culture with 1, 2, 3, 5. Starting from culture 1 to culture 5. Then we have school reputation, 5 indicators we have it. Then we have teacher qualities like communication skills, problem solving skills, teaching skills. And we also have school performance like student achievement, discipline referral, attendance rate, graduate rate, teacher benefit. You might have seen there is one more item or indicator, global teacher qualities. Global teacher qualities, global school performance. I'm going to talk about it, what it is when we are going to conduct for formative model, formative construct. Okay, that time I'm going to discuss what it is. Okay, so right now we have two types of construct. We have two types of construct. We have reflective construct like learning culture and school repetition. And we also have two formative construct, teacher qualities, school performance. I'm sorry if I'm going really slow. I hope it is fine with you all. Now, just coming to the SmartPLS. Left side of the window, we have all the indicators, all the constructs, we have it. Right side, you can able to see that we have a white window where we are going to draw the PLS-SEM model. The left panel indicates all the indicators as a part of your data set, as a part of your data that you collected it. Now, the right panel is ready for drawing the graphical model that you want to create it. So before analyzing the data with PLS-SEM, we need to come up with some hypothetical model in the SmartPLS. Okay. So here we have, let me start with, we have school culture. Those are practicing along with me. I request you please select culture 1. With the help of shift plus down arrow button, I'm repeating again. There are two different ways how you can create the latent variables, how you can create the model here in the right space. Right now, what I'm doing it with the help of my shift mouse button left, I'm just clicking the first one, culture 1. Now, after keeping my cursor on culture 1, I just click left button. Now, with the help of shift plus down arrow button on my keyboard, I've selected the entire construct. I have highlighted all the items of culture, that is learning culture. Drag and drop onto the SmartPLS panel. I hope it is clear. Once you select learning culture 1 to 5, just drag and drop it on your right side panel. Once you drag and drop it here, it is showing that one rectangle, it is showing that culture. Now I just want to make it as a learning culture. I can make changes. I want to give the name as learning culture. After giving the name that you want to give, just click enter. Just click enter. I'll repeat once again, same procedure, because we have 3 more constructs. Once you select particular indicators and drag and drop it on the right side of the panel, I can see that it is showing the circle 1 is nothing but latent variable. Name of the latent variable is learning culture. And we have indicators. Now, if I'm using for the first time SmartPLS, I need to explore, I need to practice sometime. I should have some hands-on practice. How I should, because you should become comfortable in terms of using this particular drag and drop indicators, drawing the panel. Now, I don't want to show this is ordinal data like on the name of the variable, like name of the construct, as well as on the indicator wise. For that, we have right side, there are a couple of options are available here. On the right side, we have a couple of options are available here. Especially if you look at the right side bottom, there is one option called show special marker. If I click on it, the ordinal data that's gone, that earlier it was visible ordinal data, here also visible ordinal data, here also visible ordinal data. Now that is gone here. Further, I can also use certain options. For example, here, I just want to keep all the indicators left side, top side, bottom side. If you want to make changes, what I will do is, right now, this particular construct is not selected. So keep your cursor on the construct. Now you can see that this particular construct is selected. It means if you are seeing this particular square box, it means this particular construct is selected. If it is selected only, you can able to make changes like left side. Look at my cursor. I can able to shift left side, right side, top, bottom, right side. However I want to make changes, I can able to change. But only thing is, this particular construct must have selected. You should be able to select this particular construct. Let me arrange it here. Just ensure that you are going to maintain the space. You will make your construct will be visible, and they must be arranged properly. Okay, and at the bottom we also have zoom. You can able to see that zoom in, zoom out. So it depends on the number of constructs that you have. If you are going to have more complicated or more constructs, in that case, at the bottom of the window we have zoom in, zoom out. With the help of this particular zoom in, zoom out, you can able to maximize, you can able to arrange your construct however you want to, how much of beautiful you want to make it, you can able to arrange it, because you are going to present this particular construct as a part of your research paper, as a part of your PhD thesis, right? Now, first one, what we have done, I'll repeat the same thing because we have 3 more constructs. So what I have done, I have selected learning culture. Now I'm going to select teacher qualities. Which are the teacher qualities we have? Communication skills. I'm keeping my cursor on communication skill. With the help of the mouse, left click. After that, shift plus down arrow button. I selected all the teacher qualities like 1, 2, 3. Right now, I'm not selecting the global indicator. Okay. After selecting it, just drag and drop it on the right side panel. Now here, I need to give the name. Alpha, it won't make any sense to us. We won't be able to understand what is meant by alpha here. So title of the construct is teacher qualities. Just click enter. Now you can see here, you can arrange your indicators with the help of the right side symbols. If you maybe first 2 3 days, you can take your time to understand to move the indicators construct however you want to have it. Just practice it. Okay. Then imagine that I just want to there is some spelling mistake. Okay. Imagine that there is some spelling mistake on the title of the teacher qualities. Okay, I just want to make some changes, or maybe I need to change title of the latest latent variable. Okay, in that case, what I have to do is just double click on this particular construct. If you want to make any change, or if I want to edit, maybe because of error, or maybe because if I want to change the title of the variable or title of the construct, latent variable construct, I'll keep my cursor here, just double click on it. The moment I double click, I got the latent variable option. It's showing that caption report. If you want to put it, got to say, I can also make changes here. Teacher qualities, type of the variable, type of the construct it is a reflective. How you want to make it indicators left, right, everything can be done. So that also can be possible. Now here, if there are any mistakes, I can able to correct it here. There is one portion. There is one part of it. Okay. Next one. Let me select repetition. 1, 2, 3, 4. I selected all the indicators of school repetition. Drag and drop it on the right side. Now it is giving a repetition. Generally, people won't understand repetition of what. So it is a school repetition. After giving specific title, just click enter, and we got the construct. Now we are going to make arrangements. You can see that it can be arranged slightly, and you can take the help of right side indicators, right side buttons, and however you want to make changes, however you want to present as a part of your paper, accordingly you can make arrangements for it. Okay. Now the question comes here, which is independent variable, which is dependent variable here. One thing we understood that looking at our slide, there are two types of construct we have it. Reflective construct, formative construct. Now the question comes, which is independent variable, dependent variable? What we're trying to measure it. Now if you look at our research, maybe hypothesis or maybe research objectives here, examine effects of learning culture. Effect of learning culture is one variable. Like how much extent learning culture is going to influence school performance. Teacher qualities, another independent variable. School reputation is another independent variable. It means I have three independent variables. I have one dependent variable. Now, when it comes to the PLS-SEM model, whenever you are going to draw, your independent variable should be always left side, and dependent variable should be right side of it. Okay. Now we are going to have our dependent variable is school performance. Which are the school performance here? You can see starting from P1, that is serial number 14, indicator number 14 to 18. Just select the indicators. Just drag and drop it on the right side of your panel. Here I'm just giving the title as school performance. Just click enter, and you can make changes, and you can present it however you want to present it. Depends on the number of indicators that you have it. I'm not good at beautification. Maybe you can spend some time for it. You can practice it. Now, once you come up with all the constructs on the right side of the window, now you're trying to measure all the constructs like a teacher learning culture, teacher qualities, school reputation, and its influence or impact on school performance. Right? Now, if you want to draw, if you want to connect it, what you have to do is on the top right side of the window, you can see there are a couple of options are available here, like back, save, convert, calculate, latent variable. This is also an option. If you want to create, I'll show you later on. Connect. Now, if you want to connect it, first I need to click on this connect. Just need to click on the connect. Then just draw the connections. So from independent variable, we have three independent variables. We are trying to understand, examine the effect of learning culture on school performance, teacher qualities on school performance, repetition on school performance. Okay. Now, here, I'm able to come up with this particular path connections with the help of the connect. If I'm not able to click this particular option, I cannot able to connect it. Now you can see that there are single-headed arrows from three independent variables to the dependent variable. So these three independent variables are predictors. We have three independent variables. These are nothing but the predictors. We have it. And from one latent variable to the another latent variables, we are connecting it. Okay. Now we have some hypothetical model. We have hypothetical model. Now the next question is, we are able to understand we have three independent variables, one dependent variable. Now, which is reflective construct, which is formative construct? The next question, which is reflective construct, which is formative construct? As you can see that learning culture and school reputation are reflective. Teacher qualities, school performance are formative. Now, if you look at in this particular slide here, from construct to the indicators, we have arrows. This is a reflective construct. Whereas when it comes to formative construct, indicators to the construct. So similarly, we need to make changes here. Once you design your construct, we need to see, I'm not able to select it here. I'm not able to select it. I want to make certain changes. If I'm trying to select it, I'm not able to select it. I'm not able to make changes. So what you have to do is there's an option called select. Just click on select. Now you select it. Now I can able to make changes. If you are using maybe at the early stage or very rarely you're using PLS-SEM, these two options are very important: select and connect. Sometimes you used to forget and we'll think that system is not working. If you want to make any changes, if you want to deal with any of the construct, I need to click on select. Then only I can able to move. I can make certain flexible changes. Okay, whether it's any of the variable, I need to first click on select. Now, here learning culture is reflective. Second one, we have what is the other reflective construct we have it? School repetition is another reflective construct we have it. So when it comes to reflective construct, our arrow marks are the same from construct to the indicators. Now we also have two more constructs which are formative constructs. So in that case, like teacher qualities is a formative construct. Now how to invert these indicators towards the construct? Right now, whenever you're creating it, by default, you can see that items are going from construct to the items. Yeah, sorry, indicators are, the arrows are going from construct to the indicators by default. Now we need to change it. How to change it? Select the particular construct. With the help of the mouse, right click. I got the list of the options. There is one option, invert measurement model. Just see what is going to happen. I hope you're able to see the change. Let me repeat once again. Right now, it is a formative construct. Arrows are coming from indicators to the construct. Indicators are forming the construct. Just I want to change it to reflective construct. Click on invert measurement model. So that is how it is going to work. Now, as teacher qualities is a formative construct, just select the construct, right click with the help of the mouse and select invert measurement model. Now you can see that I'm able to convert it from reflective to formative construct. Now, what is the other construct that we have? School performance. Again, same procedure. With the help of your mouse, right click, just click invert measurement model. So we have two formative construct, that is nothing but teacher qualities and school performance. And we have two reflective constructs we have it. I hope till this particular procedure is clear, right? Now, once you set up your hypothetical model on the right side of the PLS-SEM, we need to start with a measurement model. Let's try to have some theoretical understanding about what is measurement model and what all things one has to do that. As a part of the measurement model, we are going to look at the reliability, validity of your tool, the construct that you have it. Like, for example, here we have indicators. Like, imagine that on the right side of this particular window, imagine that, why we have to imagine here. Learning culture is one. We have 5 indicators, right? This is a learning culture. Okay, there are 4 indicators here. Now, to measure the concept of learning culture, we have 4 indicators. How this particular 4 indicators are able to measure the construct, that is latent variable. How they're able to measure the latent variable learning culture. Name it any variable, learning culture, school repetition, school performance. The indicator, we are able to measure it with the help of factor loadings. So our factor loading, our threshold value should be greater than 0.708. If it is greater than 0.70, it means the indicators that you have they are the right indicators to measure the concept or the construct that you're trying to measure it. Like item number 1, item number 2, item number 3, item number 3, 4. All the items together, they're able to measure the concept, school culture, learning culture, school repetition. Okay. Now, this particular threshold value indicator factor loading is going to help us whether the construct that you have it is it the right construct or not. In case if your indicators have less than 0.70, you need to see whether is there any problem with your indicators. You need to revise your items. or you need to revise your indicators. Okay, so we are going to see with the help of the data. So first one is factor loadings. Second one, we have internal consistency. As a part of reliability test, our Cronbach alpha value should be greater than 0.70. If it is between 0.70 to 0.95, well and good. But again, if it is greater than 0.95, again, there is some problem with the redundancy. So we need to have between 0.70 to 0.95. In order to show that the kind of scale that we have in terms of reliability, we have a good, excellent scale that we have, reliability value. We are going to check it out. So as a part of Cronbach alpha reliability test, we are having Cronbach alpha as well as CR, which we are going to look at with the help of variance. Okay, I'm going to explain that. Okay. Now coming to the next one, validity part, we are going to have convergent validity with the help of average variance extractor. We are going to measure it. Our AV value should be greater than 0.50. So what it is, when you are going to use it, how it is going to be applied, we are going to see right now. Okay. This is for the reflective construct. Then we'll come back for the formative construct later on. Okay. So let's try to understand for the reflective construct what we have to do. I'm repeating again. In our case, in this particular case study that you are right now doing on it, we have both reflective as well as formative. If I have only reflective construct, what we are going to do, that we are going to perform right now. We are going to conduct indicators, composite reliability, AVE, we are going to conduct it. Then we are also going to conduct discriminant validity, we are going to conduct it. But if you have only formative construct, I'm not going to look at the reliability, like I'm not going to look at the reliability test, like a Cronbach alpha, composite reliability, and all. I'm going directly to formative construct. Let's see here. If I have formative construct, I no need to measure reliability test. I'll go directly for convergent validity. With the help of redundancy analysis, I'll go. There we are going to use global indicators. That time I will talk about it. Then we are going to conduct collinearity test. Then accordingly, we are going to decide whether the model that we have it is really valid or not as a part of formative construct. Okay. Now, what is reliability test? Reliability test refers to consistency or stability of the measurement over the time. A measurement tool is considered reliable if it consistently yields. So as I mentioned that if you're getting threshold value points greater than 0.70, it is acceptable. 0.80 is good internal consistency. If it is greater than 0.90, excellent. If it is less than 0.70, there is some problems. So we need to see which are the items you need to reframe or revise or remove it. Okay. Composite reliability. It is similar to Cronbach alpha, but it provides a more accurate estimate for reliability, especially for models in SEM and confirmatory factor analysis. Now, what is the threshold value? Again, just like Cronbach alpha value, even composite reliability value should be greater than 0.70. Okay. So you can see that if it is less than 0.70, it indicates poor reliability. This suggests that either some of the indicators are weak or the construct is poorly defined. Now the question is, when it comes to the Cronbach alpha, we have certain values, we have certain formula. We are going to get item wise what kind of consistency we have, internal consistency. Now the point is that when it comes to the composite reliability, how we are going to measure it? When it comes to the composite reliability, to measure the concept, suppose we have conducting a study to measure the customer satisfaction by using 4 items. So we are getting the factor loadings minus lambda square. If you calculate, you will get error variance. If you're not wrong, on the day 1 session, we have discussed clearly this particular part. Like for example, factor loading is 0.8. If a square root of it, if I calculate it, you'll get it 0.1 minus 0.8 square, that is lambda square. If you get it, you'll get it 1 minus 0.64 is equal to 0.36. It is nothing but the variance, error of variance, which is not explained by this particular item. Our factor loading should be close to 1. But in this particular case, factor loading is 0.8. It means if you look at the lambda square, it's coming 0.64. 1 minus 0.64 is equal to 0.36. 0.36%, there is a variance which cannot be explained by this particular item number 1. Now, after calculating item number 1 score, item number 2 score, item number 3 score, item number 4 score, I'm going to get the value. That particular value should be greater than 0.50. Average variance extracted, that particular value should be greater than 0.50. In case, if this particular value is greater than less than 0.50, that is AVE, average variance extracted value is less than 0.50. Again, there is certain issues with your scale. Okay, reliable. Okay, let's see one by one. Okay, now what we have done, we have clarity, which is a reflective model, which is formative model, we have clarity. Second clarity, which is independent variable, dependent variable, that kind of clarity also we have it. Now we are going to conduct the measurement model, and we are going to conduct the measurement model. In that case, reliability and validity of the scale, we are going to conduct it. Okay. So whenever we have both reflective and formative construct, we are going to follow standard PLS-SEM algorithm and bootstrapping procedure. Now, in our case, we have both this type of construct, reflective as well as formative construct. Now, we are going to just click on calculate. Just click on calculate. You can see that there are consistent algorithms, standard algorithms. As a part of standard algorithms, we are going to click on standard algorithm. Just click on bootstrapping. Just click on bootstrapping. What is the bootstrapping method? The plus point of using PLS-SEM is that even though our data is normal distributed, even if our data is not normal distributed, even if our data is less than 300 or 250, even in that case, one can go for using structural equation modeling with the help of PLS-SEM. So here, bootstrapping method is a very important scale which we discussed on the day 2. Okay, what is bootstrapping method? So here you can see that we have 5,000 subsamples is going to take it. I'm not going to make any changes here. We have bootstrap setup. I'm not making any changes here. Just click on start calculation. Just click on start calculation. Now you can see that I think there's some change here. As you can see that graphical output, as we are measuring the measurement model. As a part of the measurement model, we are trying to understand the factor loadings. So in that case, I'm going to select outer weights with p-value. Outer weights, that is factor loadings and p-value. We have constructs. And I just want to measure the outer loadings. I just want to look at the measurement model. So here, as a part of the measurement model, I'm going to select outer weights, loadings, and p-value. Just click on it. The moment I select outer weight, loading, p-values, it is showing that a relationship between indicators to the construct. For every construct, we have certain indicators. With the help of the factor loadings, we are trying to understand the relationship between the indicator and the construct. Now, when it comes to the factor loadings as a part of reflective construct, this particular value should be greater than 0.70 and the value should be significant. When it comes to the reflective construct, this particular value, like for example, learning culture is reflective construct and school reputation is reflective construct. For this particular two construct, look at are there any values which are less than 0.70. Now, if you look at the learning culture, first one is 0.8, 0.8. Culture 3, like indicator number 3, it is less than 0.70. And moreover, it is not significant. it is greater than 0.05. Okay. First one is it is less than 0.70, and rest of the indicators are fine. With reference to learning culture, I'm satisfied except one indicator which we suppose we have to delete it. That is learning culture. Right now I'm not deleting, I'll get back to it. Now we have one more indicator that is belongs to a reflective construct. Here you can see that school reputation, again, it is non-significant and it is also less than 0.70. Reputation 4, reputation 3, reputation 2. It is 0.65. I mean, almost closely connected. So I can accept it. Some extent we can fine with it. It is greater than 0.70, reputation 1. Now coming to the reflective construct, we can able to see that all the factor loadings are greater than 0.70, except one from the learning culture, one from school reputation. They're not significant. So we're supposed to delete it. Please note down that. Second part, when it comes to the formative construct, our outer weight should be, our value should be, it is not here, our value should be like this particular value should be greater than 0.10. This particular value, formative indicator, our coefficient value should be, this particular value should be greater than 0.10 and it should be significant. Now if you look at here, it is greater than 0.10 is. Now when it comes here, are there any values which are less than 0.10? All are 0.10, but there is one problem. This is not significant. I'm just repeating once again. When it comes to the reflective construct, our factor loading should be greater than 0.70 and relation should be significant. Whereas when it comes to the formative construct, the outer weights, the outer weight should be, this particular value should be greater than 0.10 and value should be significant. Though we are able to satisfy it in terms of the weights, however, when it comes to the outer weights, don't get confused. When it comes to the reflective construct, we used to call it as factor loadings. When it comes to the formative construct, we call it as outer weights. Our outer weight value should be greater than 0.10 and it should be significant. Now, here I'm going to delete, we have to delete teacher benefit because it's not significant. In this particular case, we are going to delete reputation 5. In this particular case, we are going to delete culture 3. How to delete it? Now the question comes here. Just click on edit. Just click on the edit. Now come to the learning culture 3. Select the particular construct indicator. Right click. Just click on delete. I hope you are able to see that. Second one. Here we don't have any problem here. Here the problem with it is not significant here. Teacher benefit, that is item number 5. Select the particular indicator with the help of your mouse. Right click, delete it. Okay. Now next. Here again, school reputation. This particular indicator is also not up to the threshold values. Just select it. Right click, delete it. Right click and delete it. Now, just go back, calculate, bootstrap method, start calculation. Now, as a part of as we are conducting the measurement model, left side of the window under the graphical output, there is option called measurement model. Just select outer weights and p-values. And you can see that now our constructs are, factor loadings are good. In terms of factor loadings, they are good and they are significant. So this is step number 1. Once you are able to see that the relationship between factor loadings and the constructs are clear, there is no problem with anything, right? The benchmark, we are able to fulfill it. The benchmark for factor loadings it should be greater than 0.70 and it should be significant. Whereas when it comes to the outer weights, our path coefficient value should be, it is greater than 0.10 and it should be significant. It shows that all the indicators are valid now. After deleting everything, we are able to see that now we can go for analyzing construct validity and reliability of both reflective and formative models. So first we'll follow with the reflective construct. For that, just click on edit, go to calculate, select PLS-SEM algorithm. Select PLS-SEM algorithm. Now I can see that here there is a standard, there is a default. I'm not going to make any changes here. Just click on start calculation. Just click on start calculation. Now, what is the difference I can able to see? We are going to look at the construct reliability and validity. For that, under the quality criteria, if you scroll your cursor down with the help of your mouse, under the quality criteria, we have the first option, construct reliability and validity. Just click on it. The moment I click on the construct reliability and validity, I got the list of the options. Like you can see here, we have overview. Just click on the overview. Let me minimize a little bit. I hope, yeah, we are not missing anything. Now, if you look at this particular overview, you can see that I am getting only 2 constructs. Actually, we have 4 constructs in our model. But I can see the data, I can see the results for only 2 constructs. One is learning culture, second is school reputation. Why? Because we are measuring the reflective constructs. Only for reflective constructs, we are going to measure reliability. For formative construct, measuring reliability is not applicable. Point number 1. Coming to the point number 2. This is the overview. Now we need to see our threshold values. What we discussed, our threshold value, Cronbach alpha, as well as composite reliability value should be greater than 0.70. It should be between 0.70 to 0.95. Okay. Now, look at here, Cronbach alpha, that is internal consistency. For the construct learning culture, it is greater than 0.70. Similarly, school reputation, it is greater than 0.78. Okay, it is greater than 0.78. Similarly, composite reliability value also, it is greater than 0.70. It means we are above the threshold value. You are able to fulfill the requirement of it. Now the question comes, which one we have to choose it? A, C. So there are 2 type of statistical tests we have it. You can choose one of the statistical option. Okay, which is more reliable here. You can choose with A. And coming to the last one, average variance extracted. It is nothing but our threshold value should be greater than 0.50. Our average variance extracted, that is average variance extracted, that is within construct. We are trying to see that how this particular construct is able to perform. Our value should be greater than 0.50. Let me show you one important. There are 2 types of convergent validity. There are 2 types of validities: convergent validity, discriminant validity. When I talk about convergent validity, let's say, for example, school culture. In school culture, we have 5 items. Do the items belong to together? All together, are they able to measure the construct, that is school culture, properly? How you come to know? With the help of average variance extracted. What is average variance extracted? This one. Like we are calculating item score, like item number 1, item number 2, item number 3, item number 4, with the help of lambda square, and we'll get error of variance, and we'll get the result, average variance extracted result. That particular value should be greater than 0.50. It means you are able to achieve convergent validity. What about discriminant validity? I'll get back to you. I'll come back to you. Okay. In discriminant validity, we have 3 types of discriminant validities. So it is another important component of construct validity in SEM. So we want to see that how, for example, in our case, we have 3 constructs. I hope I haven't missed it in terms of construct reliability validity. I can copy this result in a Word document, in Excel document, I can copy it and I can report it. If you want to see bars, you can also present it, but mostly it won't be helpful. Overview is the best option. You can able to see that. Now coming to the discriminant validity. We have three options are available here. HTMT value, Fornell Larcker criteria, cross loadings. We will see one by one. First one, we'll see Fornell Larcker criteria. Fornell Larcker criteria basically we'll get it square root of AVE. Like for every concept, we got average variance extracted. For that, we are going to get the square root of AVE, and we'll see whether are we able to achieve. We have three constructs. Are they different from each other? Are they similar? So how far they are different from each other? How far they're able to discriminate each construct? That's what we are going to see that. Okay. Fornell Larcker criteria. Like for example, you have construct A, construct B. Construct A, construct B. The square root of AVE greater than correlation with other construct. Now, in order to run it, let me show you the result here so that we'll have some explanation. Look at here. Average variance extracted. Square root of average variance extracted is Fornell Larcker criteria here. When I'm comparing with this learning culture with the school repetition, learning culture correlation, this particular average variance extracted square root is greater than the other construct. Means learning culture score is greater than school repetition. Within the construct, this is higher. And if I compare school repetition with a learning culture, school repetition value is 0.77, whereas school learning culture is 0.489. So what exactly it is indicates? The diagonal values must be higher than the diagonal values. Means school repetition here, learning culture is larger than its correlation with school repetition. Here, if I am comparing school culture with repetition, school culture value is greater than its correlation with school repetition. Whereas when I'm comparing school repetition value with its correlation with the learning culture, this particular value is greater than that. It means these two concepts are not overlapping. We want as a part of convergent validity, within the construct, there should be high correlation, but between the construct, they should not overlap. If they are going to overlap, I cannot differentiate, okay, this is related to school culture, this is related to repetition. Culture required different items. In order to measure the school repetition, we require different items. Are they able to justify the concept of school repetition? Like, for example, I have items under school culture. Are they really talking about school culture? Are they also talking about school repetition? How far they're able to discriminate? So, is there any overlapping of the concept between learning culture and school repetition? Now here, if you look at the score, we are able to see that between learning culture and school repetition, we are able to achieve discriminant validity with the help of Fornell Larcker criteria. Okay. So, the diagonal value should be greater than the off diagonal values. There is an indication of how to measure the Fornell Larcker criteria. This is another example from another study. If you look at here, construct A, when I am comparing with construct A with the construct B, it is construct A value is 0.763 as against to correlation with construct B, that is 0.591. Similarly, when I'm comparing construct B with the other construct A, construct A, I can see that this particular construct is greater than other constructs. This number must be higher than any other number in this row or column. That's how we have to see that part. Okay. Next one is cross loadings. Basically, it is going to help us to evaluate, is there any item as a higher loading on the concept, as we are going to compare higher each indicator factor loadings Within that particular construct, there should be higher loadings, there should be high correlation, but between the construct, there should be low, because within this construct, if I'm measuring culture 1, culture 2, I can see that loadings are very high, as if I'm comparing with reputation school performance. But when I'm comparing school reputation with other two culture, school reputation factor loadings are higher than, our indicators values are higher than remaining two other construct. It means I'm able to achieve these three concepts. These three concepts are not overlapping. Okay. Let's see the result of it. Cross loadings. When it comes to the cross loading, we know we're not going to present all the values, all the indicators. We are going to present the values of only reflective constructs. Please, while copying this data as a part of your paper, as a part of your PhD thesis, don't forget that we are going to talk about only culture, there is a school culture, as well as the other factor loading what we have, school repetition. Other things can be removed with the help of, once we copy an Excel or Word document, you can able to remove that. Next one, we have HTMT value. HTMT matrix, this particular value, it measures true correlation between measurement models. It is considered more reliable as compared with the cross loadings, as compared with the Fornell Larcker criteria. Now, how to measure it? Whenever we're looking at the HTMT value, there is a threshold value we have it. This particular value should be less than 0.90. Some of the scholars, they say that this particular value should be less than 0.85. If you go at a liberal, if you're a little bit liberal, you can go with up to 0.90. As our value is less than 0.90 or less than 0.85, we are able to discriminate validity between the two reflective constructs, that is learning culture and school reputation. So what are the outputs that you are able to see? Looking at the reliability value, that is Cronbach alpha value, average variance extracted value, and discriminant validity. Average variance extraction, nothing but convergent validity. Within the construct, how the indicators are able to measure the construct. Whereas discrimination talks about how these particular constructs are different from each other. Okay. Next one, we have collinearity statistics. Now, this is another important aspect. We don't want to see that what are the output that you have it. There should not be multi-collinearity among all the indicators. We have two reflective constructs like culture and reputation. We have 10 indicators we have. Within the typical indicators, we should not have high multi-collinearity. So what is the threshold value? This threshold value should be, again, if I go with rigorous wise, this particular threshold value should be less than 3. If you go with a little bit liberal, some of the scholars suggest that even go up to 5.0. You can decide whether you want to consider 3.0, very rigorous, robust method, or you want to be a little bit liberal, like 5.0. If this particular value is less than 3.0, it means there is no multi-collinearity. But if there is a problem, if there is any indicator, like for example, here you can see that all the indicators are less than 3. So I don't have any problem. If there is any problem, I need to delete that particular indicator. How we have deleted when it comes to the factor loadings? In the similar line, we are going to delete the indicators of collinearity statistics. Okay. So this is all about measurement model of both the reflective and formative construct we have.